What's up, YouTube and fellow citizens of the world? Jordan Patrick here, and welcome to my now official merged channel. Yesterday on Instagram, I posted asking if anyone had any questions about differences in culture between the US and France, and today I've compiled all of those questions, put them in video form, and I'm gonna answer them now. So, on y va, c'est parti! Okay, so some of these questions are on the lighter side and some are on the deeper side, so I thought I would mix them up so that it's not too heavy at certain times. And so this first one, do you think French people are snobby or compared to Americans? And the answer is no, but that's because I am living here and I know how the culture is here, and people don't go out of their way to be extra nice to people that they don't know. From an American perspective, coming to France, I can see how they could view French as being snobby, but that's just because in the States, people are very extra. Just being nice and friendly and smiling all the time, like that's just part of the American culture. So this next question is actually probably the favorite question that I got yesterday. It's way more on the lighter side. So my favorite French movie is Les Intouchables. It's the first French film that I ever saw back in 2011, I want to say. And it was really touching and moving. It was also kind of on the funny side, but I was using it to improve my French, but also, yeah, it has a great message and it's very Parisian. Okay, so this next question is back to the whole culture differences. So the work culture in France versus the US is very, very different. In the States, we have a 40-hour plus work week, and in France, it's only 35 hours. So already there's 5 hours less per week. And also we take a lot of coffee breaks in France, or a smoke break, which is just something that you don't really see very often in the States. Oh, and then at my work here, we have friends that pass by the office regularly, and then they come to have a coffee, relax, have maybe a croissant or something, and so yeah, it's much more relaxed here in France. This was rather a comment, and it's regarding my flag in the background. It's not even a flag, it is a scarf, but it was vintage style, and I saw it and I was like, ooh, I love that, I'm gonna put it on my wall. So anyways, thanks for the comment. Here's another lighter question after that last one, and it's relation to food. So in France and Europe in general, I would say that people eat a lot healthier here. And it's not just because the ingredients are fresher or something like that, it's regulations. So in France, they have many regulations on conservatives and products that are either not healthy or have a lot of chemicals. Like they try to avoid that type of stuff in their food processing. In the US, you have less strict regulations, which means that you have just a lot more unhealthy type foods. Food culture in France, they're very, very proud of their French cuisine, and it is really good quality. In the States, you take a lot of cultural foods and kind of we make them our own. Tex-Mex, for example, or like Chicago style pizza, New York style pizza, California rolls. We take a cultural dish and then we kind of make our spin on it. So I do miss a lot of American foods and restaurants, but I would say just when it comes to health concerns, I would say that France is much more health conscious than the States. But things are changing in the States. Like every time I go back to California, it's like everyone is vegan, and I'm like, oh, this is a new wave. In France, I don't know that many people that are vegan. You would find more restaurants like that in Paris just because you have more of a melting pot. But yeah, in Limoges, on the menu, it's like so many things are gonna include some product of animal. So this next question is more on the heavy side because it's slightly controversial. I love the healthcare system in France. Whether or not you are like taking from it, you're always contributing to it if you're working, which I think is great because eventually you might really need it, and so you will be taken care of. You know, I actually went through a bad accident a few years ago in Madrid. I fell off a bridge, but that's a long story that I'll get into another time. And when I came back to France after visiting some doctors in the US, I was able to do physical therapy in France for 6 months, and it was all taken care of by my mutuelle from my work. So that's something that I'm a huge advocate for. And I always get in an argument with my dad about it because he feels that people should have the option of paying for a more elevated healthcare system or not. Because some people can't really afford it, or some people would like to have that extra couple $100 or euros per month to save towards something else. If they are healthy, fit, and they don't feel the need to have this service. But I am on the contrary, just because I've had a bad accident and I know you never prepare for something like that to happen. So when it does, it's really great to have this backup safety net, really.